This is Algebra 2. This is our spring test number 1. This is part 2. We're picking up at number 15. Simplifying the difference, 3w squared minus 7w minus 8. Then it says minus what's in the other side, 4w squared plus 5w minus 2. So you want to subtract the like exponents, 3w squared minus 4w squared. That gives you negative 1w squared. Negative 7w minus 5w, that's negative 2w. And then negative 8 minus a negative. Minus a negative means plus 2. So negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. 16, we simplifying. This time you're adding instead of subtracting. Again, like your like exponent, 7u to the third plus 3u to the third, 10u to the third. Notice there's no u squared in the second one. So plus 4u squared. You don't add anything to it. Then there's only one u to the first power. So minus 6u to the first power. You always write them in descending order. The third, the second, the first power. And then the last one is plus positive 2 plus 4 is plus 6. So you create a polynomial with 4 terms. 17, simplifying the product, you just distribute all of this into that. You multiply 8 times 5 and get 40, and you add the exponents. X to the third plus 2 becomes x to the fifth. You distribute 8 times 7 on the second term. 8 plus times 7 is plus 56. But notice one of them is x to the third, the other one's y to the seventh. You can't add those because they're not the same. So you simply write x to the third, y to the seventh. Do the same thing with this one. Distribute 4 times 2 and get 8. 6 plus 2 is a to the 8th power. 4 times negative 5 is minus 20. And then again, a to the 6th, b to the 3rd. You can't add those together. 19, finding the slope of the line y equals mx plus b. Your m is your value that's multiplying by x. So m is negative 7 over 5. Simplifying this radical expression. There's 2 different ways. You could separate it right away, or you could just do what's underneath the radical first. 400 divided by 5 would be the square root of 80. That's one way to do it. Then you want to take out what multiplies by what perfect square multiplies by something to give you the number 80. The best one to use is the square root of 16. That multiplies by 5. Square root of what times itself is 16 is 4 times the square root of 5. Number 21 says multiply and simplify if possible. There's a trick you could do with this one. Instead of doing 14 times 7 and getting yourself a great big number, you could separate this into the square root of 7 times the square root of 2, and then bring down your other square root of 7. Remember, anytime you multiply the same radical by itself, like 7 times 7, that's the square root of 49, which simplifies right back to 7 times the square root of 2. So it keeps you from having to do a whole lot of big numbers. Number 22 is just multiplying negative 3 minus the square root of 5 squared. So this is just going to create a FOIL problem out of this. Negative 3 minus the square root of 5, multiply that times negative 3 minus the square root of 5. So FOIL it out. Your first term's negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Your outer terms, negative 3 times negative square root of 5 is positive 3 square root of 5. Your inner terms, negative square root of 5 times negative 3 is positive 3 square root of 5. And then your last terms, negative square root of 5 times negative square root of 5 is positive square root of 25, which simplifies to positive 5. So when you combine all the rest of your terms, 9 plus 3 square root of 5 plus 3 square root of 5 plus 5, when you put your like terms together, 9 and 5 go together and give you 14. And 3 plus 3 is plus 6 times the square root of 5. And then the last one, number 23, says graph the equation y equals negative 8 over 5x plus 1, y equals mx plus b, where your m value is what's multiplying by x, so m is negative 8 over 5, and your b value is what's being added to it, b equals 1. Remember, once you have those values, that's all you need in order to graph it. Start out at positive 1 on your y-intercept, go down 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 8 and over 5 would be 7 below the axis and over 5. Once you have 2 points, you can draw yourself a straight line through them, and there's your equation to go along with it.